So to introduce myself, I'm Neil Forrest. I work at Gorgias. I manage partnerships at Gorgias. And I'm also the founder of my own e-commerce brand. And I was a Gorgias customer before I joined the Gorgias team. And yeah, this is stuff that I've seen work in my own brand. And it's also stuff that I've seen work for our customers at Gorgias. Also, I'm well aware that some of you may have seen this presentation before, so that's good and bad. Bad because you've seen it before and you might be bored, but good because there's a quiz at the end of it and the opportunity to win prizes. So you will know the questions and should know the answers. Right, so quickly, who are Gorgias? Who are we? What do we do? We are the #1 help desk for e-commerce. And we integrate all of the support channels that merchants have with their customers into one platform. So that's email, phone, live chat, SMS, WhatsApp, all social media comments and direct messages. And then we integrate your full tech stack. So most of the sponsors here today, for example, we have integrations there. And then we automate, on average, about 30% of tickets. So the net effect of all of that is that the customer gets a much better customer experience. You, as a brand, have a much more efficient support team, and that saves on costs. And yeah, we all want that. We're working with over 13,000 D2C brands, loads in the Netherlands and the general Benelux region, but we have teams worldwide. Yeah. And this is what it looks like, just in case you were wondering. So this was meant to be a GIF, but in true last-minute fashion, it doesn't work. But this is meant to say, we're going to give you the tools to win the internet, but also win prizes at the end. So there's going to be like 4 or 5 questions. The answers to the questions are in this presentation. OK, so I asked this question on LinkedIn a while ago, which is, what do you think is the biggest contributor to growth for D2C? Oh, it's got very quiet. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What do you think is the biggest contributor to growth for D2C brands at the moment? And this was maybe about 8 months ago now that I asked this. And I don't think there's been much difference in the trend and the general attitude that brands are displaying, which is you need a great product, great customer experience, focusing on customer service, big emphasis on lifetime value. We all know costs of acquisition have increased. We've known that for a while. And so there's been a big shift to what can we do with the customer base that we already have, and how do we make sure that we're keeping each customer, maximizing the profitability there. So customer support is a really big part of that. If you acquire a customer and then you provide shit customer service, there's a high chance that they're not going to come back. If something shit happens to that customer and you provide good customer service, that could mean that they come back and buy again. So quick show of hands, who actually prioritizes, out of the brands here, who prioritizes customer support at the moment? LabFresh, I know you do. OK, good. A smattering of hands. Fine, so I'm going to move on to giving you these 4 tips on how to provide exceptional customer experience. And these are general tips. Yes, some of them are illustrated with Gorgias, but regardless of tech, it's stuff that you should be thinking about prioritizing in your business if it applies to you. So first of all, what does exceptional customer experience look like? Now, before I joined Gorgias, I didn't really realize that customer experience could be scored in this way, and there was that many, I guess, data points that you would measure in relation to it. But brands do get scored in customer experience, and it's level 1 to level 5. Level 1 being poor and level 5 being exceptional. And it's things like how much strategic value are you providing through your support, what's your resolution time, first response time, how much revenue is being generated through support, and generally how integrated is your support team. All of these things combine to give you a level and a score. So this is a quick test. Can you take your phones out and scan this QR code? So I want to know, where do you think most brands sit on that level 1 to level 2? Bear in mind, there's things like first response time, how much revenue is being generated through your support team, how many channels you have integrated, and generally, how sophisticated your support situation might be. So 22 people joined. People are guessing level 2, level 3, level 1. Okay, there's an overwhelming winner there, so I'm going to move on. But that's going to be the same format for the quiz. So that was just a little practice. Correct, it was number 2. So that either means that you're all very smart or intuitive or you've seen this before. I don't know which one. But most support teams sit around level 2, and that's with an average response time of 12 hours. And I pick on response time because that's one of the metrics that has the biggest impact on customer satisfaction, on conversions, and on the post-purchase experience. And to provide a little bit of context, only 3% of support teams sit in that level 5 category. And that's the likes of Amazon, who have a response time of under 10 minutes. Excuse me. And that is because customer service in general, from consumers' opinions, still sucks. If we've got an average response time of 12 hours and an average resolution time of 17 hours, for a lot of people, that is really long. Other general trends that we're seeing is that people still feel like they're just another ticket. The brands don't really understand who they are as a customer or their history. So it's just another support query. And then they also feel like no one's listening to them. They'll sometimes have to reach out by email, then by social media, by phone. And ultimately, they're just getting a shit customer service. So your mission and my mission as a brand owner, and I try to do this myself, is to deliver exceptional customer experiences, both pre and post-purchase, that make you stand out from your competitors. Because if we don't, slow response time simply equals a higher service cost. We need more people to do the same amount of work. Lack of personalization means that we're losing out on sales opportunities. And then siloed data, as in not joined up data, means losses in efficiency, and that leads to lower customer satisfaction. And I am getting to the 4 tips. I realize this has taken quite a while to get there. So the reason that this is important is that in our research, 79% of consumers would take their business to a competitor within a week for experiencing poor customer experience. And there aren't many businesses that I know who could survive very long on that basis. Which leads me to tip 1, which is a formula made up by me. It's not a scientific formula. It's just to illustrate the point. It is speed equals better customer experience, which equals conversions, which equals revenue, which is why, let's face it, most of us are in e-commerce, is to make money. Is anyone in e-commerce for a different reason? Thought so. So, what's one of the biggest things that we can control as brand owners is first response time and resolution time. These two make have a huge impact on all the other metrics that you measure. And to illustrate this, Gorgias gets over like 100 million tickets a year or something crazy like that. So we've got a lot of data. And looking at speed, so the conversion rate for pre-sale chats, people who have asked a question before they bought something, across SMS or live chat, if they're answered in less than 10 minutes, the conversion rate is 28%. So if you can focus on being fast, then you can get high conversion rates. And so I know the overall theme for today was people buy stories, and that was why I was going to be speaking to Milan, because he had great stories about all of this stuff. But I'm going to try and pepper you in a few short stories throughout this presentation. So Lily's Q, they had difficulty, like very typical challenges with brands who were scaling, difficulty managing multi-channel support. They had manual workflows. They were using like Outlook and horrible things like that. And then that just led to long handling times. And what they did was implement a help desk. They used Gorgias, thankfully, and implemented some basic automations. And this allowed them to respond to the customer on the preferred channel that they reached out on. They managed to reduce their response times, and they were able to answer pre-purchase questions without the customer having to leave the site and losing that consistency in that customer journey. So as a result, they actually cut down their resolution time of tickets by over 24 hours, and their sales that were directly attributed to support went up by 166%. And specifically through chat, because they focused on being quick on the live chat, the chat revenue increased by 75%. Another example, and this is kind of pertinent at the moment as we come into Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and peak trading. This is another one of our brands, Brewmate. So Black Friday last year, 2 years ago, this is the stats from there. They specifically focused on being fast. That was their sort of metric that they really wanted to bring down. So they had a first response time of 54 seconds. They actually hired more resource to handle the increased volume of tickets. And as a result, they were able to generate 363,000 of revenue during that period. So tip one is a basic one, but it is very important, is be fast. That's it. So tip two is to treat social media as a support channel. And by the way, if anyone has questions, you don't need to wait until the end. Please do interrupt me. I don't mind. So yes, on the left-hand side, what we've got is a graph here of of the tickets that we see at Gorgias and the channels that they come in on. As you can see, email is still the most popular. Live chat is the second most popular. And then the third most popular is actually social media. It's the third most popular, but it's by far the fastest growing support channel. And this is why we should be treating social media as a support channel. On the right-hand side, we also have a breakdown of the intents of all these tickets that we get. So about a third of all tickets the brands get are pre-sales questions. So like people who have a question about a product, they're thinking about buying, but they just you haven't quite built up enough trust with them, or there's something missing that's preventing them clicking that buy button. And so what's the key to providing successful customer experience and converting these customers? The key lies in being able to segment the pre-purchase and post-purchase stuff, ideally do it automatically, but treating these types of inquiries very differently. So pre-purchase being stuff like, I love this brand, when's your next sale, or someone tagging their friend and being like, we have to buy this, or someone asking about stock or color or size, whatever it might be. And then post-purchase stuff, people commenting either in a positive or negative way. I bought it and it's amazing, or people asking, where is my package? Or people commenting on the level of support, saying it's impossible to contact your support, that's why I'm contacting you on social media. So if we can segment these, that's the first step. And then if we can take that a step further, we want to turn, I don't know what SYN to is, that's a typo. If we can turn these browsers into buyers with sentiment detection and automation, then it makes our lives as brand owners easier. And what I mean by that is if a ticket comes in on social media and it's identified as negative, then what we can do at Gorgias is automatically flag that with you, and you can get to that quicker. You can basically prioritize negative or positive or people asking questions. Now that's great, but really what matters is what that does to the performance of your organic and paid campaigns. Because generally speaking, the more engagement you get on a campaign or on a post, the better the results are. And so what we see is that if we're automatically engaging with people or manually engaging with people through Gorgias, then we see higher return on ad spend on ads that are integrated with this platform. I think that made sense. So tip two is treat social media as a support channel if you aren't already. So tip three is engage pre-sales with proactive chat campaigns to boost conversions. And we spoke about this earlier, or I did. A third of all tickets are pre-sales questions. And one of the best ways to convert them is through proactive chat campaigns. So this brand, OG, they were getting loads of questions, the same question time and time again, about people who weren't sure what color to buy of this tinted sculpted lip oil. And so what they did was set up a proactive chat campaign that said, do you need help? And lots of people did need help. And so here's an example of a woman who reached out and said, hi, I'm 81, and after the pandemic, my skin type is sallow and grey. I don't like these colors. I like these colors. can I get help choosing a color? And they also focused on being fast. So they replied quickly, and then 3 minutes later, this lady had purchased not just that product that was recommended, but 4 others for a total of $200. And this is actually a pretty typical, a typical scenario. And these proactive chat campaigns, we see converting at between 10 and 25% regularly, and then when they're placed on best-selling products, it converts at around about 30%. And so that actually led us on to a question. Yeah, so just on the right-hand side here, you can see there's a little pop-up in the right-hand, in the bottom right-hand corner of the window, or wherever the Gorgias live chat widget might be. It just pops up fairly unintrusively and says, do you need help? And what that does is cuts out the friction, because as humans, we take the path of least resistance most of the time, especially when we're browsing a website. And if we're not sure about something, we just close it. So instead of the user even just having to click once to open up a conversation with someone, this takes care of that for them. And just removing that one click increases the conversion rate. And it's actually a very good question, because it leads me on to this. Because we'd seen so much success with the proactive chat campaigns.
Sorry.
Oh, another question. Yeah.
No, but is it a manual response, or is it an automatic response to the question?
So we can have both manual or automatic.
But if it's an annoying automatic response, then maybe, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. You don't want to get caught in that like endless feedback loop. But the beauty is that you always have the option to speak to a human, and that's the reason behind it. But we can automate responses as well. So the proactive chat campaigns part has now evolved into something a little bit more robust, and it's actually a brand new product that we just released a couple of weeks ago called Gorgias Convert. And essentially it takes the proactive chat campaigns but allows brand owners to use a lot more triggers and customer behaviors to trigger the chat campaign. And what we're seeing during our beta phase is GMV uplifts of up to 20%. And yeah, the results were actually much better than any of us expected. But to give you a quick illustration of what the types of ways that you can be proactive with customers. So on the first one, we want to educate shoppers to build trust, and that's just if they're on a particular product, showing them something like, you've got a lifetime guarantee on this product. Do you have any further questions? The middle one is product matching. So Tushy, I don't know if anyone's a customer or seen them. It's like the sort of Japanese toilets. Like, we'll leave it at that. But they are scaling ridiculously fast. And they were getting a lot of returns because of compatibility issues. So they were encouraging people to click here, submit a photo of your toilet, we'll check the compatibility for you. And what that did was increase conversions, but also reduces the returns. Third one is incentivizing specific product bundles. So if someone's on a particular product, we can recommend a product and increase the AOV. Next one, cross-selling, is if they're on a product or if they've bought a particular product in the past, we can see all of this data and recommend a product in the little live chat window and click add to cart straight away, so you don't even need to leave the current page. Exit intent, a lot of us probably use exit intent or have at some point. Now we're using it in a new way. It's technology that's existed for ages and we've known that it works. But it's like that last-ditch Hail Mary attempt to get that customer. If they're leaving the site, you say, hey, take 20% off. And then finally, similar products, we've kind of touched on that. So that was tip 3, which is really encouraging you to engage pre-sale and be proactive with customers in any way you can, regardless of if it's with Gorgias or some other way, just be proactive with them. Which leads me into tip 4, which is empower customers to get their own answers. And this kind of leads into the other 2/3 of tickets, because we've talked about 1/3, which were pre-sales. That still leaves 2/3 of customer inquiries, and it's usually post-purchase stuff. And so why do we want to empower customers to self-serve? Quite simply, customers expect it now. I know that, like, if I'm shopping, I just genuinely expect it, not because I offer it with my brand or not because I work at Gorgias. I think it's just habitual that I expect it now. So 86% of people expect it. About 2/3 of consumers will actively try self-service before contacting a live agent. And then 97% of customers expect the ability to monitor the status of their orders. And so what we want to do is remove that friction. Again, I'm going to illustrate this point with Gorgias. But what we can do directly within the live chat here is track an order, return orders, initiate returns, and report issues. And what this does is reduce the amount of human intervention that's needed for these low-impact, basic questions. So things like, where is my order in particular? You don't need a human to answer that a lot of the time unless it's really lost. So this is one of the things that Milan was going to talk about, Loop earplugs. They were experiencing a lot of where is my order queries and general issues with scaling really quickly and loads of manual workflows. So 17% of their total volume, total ticket volume, was people asking, where is my order? So what they did was implement this, and they reduced that from 17 down to 5%. And what that allowed the support team to do is focus on a lot of the pre-sales stuff, the more complex sales queries, and that led to simply them generating more revenue through support, specifically 43%. They also worked on the pre-sales side of it, and they did something quite interesting. They looked at their FAQs page, and they looked at their Google Analytics on the and their FAQs page and saw what are the questions that people are clicking on most. They then put that in the live chat widget, and that helped deflect a lot of the pre-sales questions that people were asking them, again, freeing up their support team. Finally, this is maybe tip 5, very, very quick one, but it's actually one of my favorites, because if there's one thing that we can virtually always guarantee that our customers are going to open, is the package. So customer service starts literally the second they push, or post-purchase customer service starts the second they push purchase. But when that package gets delivered, if you know that your customer has a high chance of messaging you saying, how do I apply this product? How do I wear this product? How do I install this product? Make it easy for them. And so even including something like a QR code that goes directly to your help center, again, removes that friction. They don't need to take their phone out and then search for you and then find that page. And it just adds to the overall customer experience. Now, finally, everyone keeps asking me what's coming for Gorgias and AI, because everyone's talking about AI. In fact, is this the first time AI has been mentioned today? It might be. Wow, remarkable. Very, very simply, we're going to have we've had our own AI for years, but it's kind of getting supercharged. And again, this was meant to be a GIF. But we'll be able to analyze the ticket as it comes in, and we'll suggest a response. You can then edit the response or just hit send. So really helpful for cutting down that response time, particularly if someone is responding in a non-native language, or there's also accessibility benefits here. If someone has difficulty with reading and writing, then we can get something drafted, and then they can edit it. So lots of applications here, but very exciting AI applications. So to summarize, tip 1 is be fast. Very simple. Tip 2, always recommend treating social media as a support channel if you aren't already. And then tip 3 is engage with customers pre-sales and be proactive. And then tip 4 is encourage customers to self-serve. So my mission for the rest of the year, and I'm guessing yours, is to leverage the best tech available to us as e-commerce brand owners to make you stand out from your competitors. So that leads us on to the quiz. And I haven't told you what the prize is, mostly because I haven't made my mind up yet. But no, I'm joking, I have. There is a prize. And if you get your, there's only 5 questions here. If you get your QR code scanned and get joining, then we'll be done. And then we can all get a coffee. While everyone's joining, I will take this opportunity to mention we've also got a masterclass happening in the same room just after Shopify's. It's going to be run by Nicola there. Yeah. And if anyone has any questions, please go to Nicola because he knows more about Gorgias than I do. Okay. People still, hands up, is anyone still joining? Okay. Let's go. So, it's timed, and the faster you are, this is just a test. It's timed, and the faster you are, the more points you get. So it's a fastest fingers on buzzers, and you have to get it right. Anyway, what's the Netherlands famous for? The answer is all of the above. Right, okay. When I click, we go on to the next one, and then it's fast. So remember, tip 1, be fast. Just thought of that. All right, let's go. Oh, wait, sorry. False start. There's a leaderboard. Critty, well done. You got. I don't know where you are, but well done. Well done. So, which support channel is the fastest growing? Is it email, phone, social media, or SMS? We do have 15 seconds to answer this, unless everyone answers it before then. And the answer is, of course, social media. Well done, most of you. That was pretty high scoring. So yeah, social media. Well done. Who has taken the leaderboard? Okay, you're still out in front. Well done. What is the average response time for brands? Is it 30 minutes? Is it 6 hours? Is it 12 hours? Or is it 28 hours? Just sitting there, you answered quickly. Yeah, it is 12 hours, and most of you, again, got that right. It's good. It shows that people were actually listening. No change, no change. I have a feeling we might have found our winner. You've probably seen this before. And then, what percentage of support tickets are pre-sales questions? Is it 5? Is it 33? Is it 45? Or is it 66? Which percentage are pre-sales questions? And the answer is 33%, or a third. Oh, we've had a change. Did you get that wrong? Oh, dear. Oh, I only mentioned it about 10 times. Jeroen? Who's Jeroen? Okay, congratulations. And last question is, what's the main thing that brand owners can do to improve customer experience? Is it make the logo bigger? Is it spend 10 times more on advertising? Is it offer massive discounts? Or is it respond faster to support tickets? And the answer is A, 98%, 2% offer massive discounts. You could also say this. Usually you get at least like one troll being like, make the logo bigger. So what's that done? Choi Boy. Who's Choi Boy? Hey! Round of applause for Choi Boy. Well done. Congratulations. I'll come and find you after, and we'll make sure you get your prize. But aside from that, thank you very much for playing along. And if you get any questions about Gorgias, you can either email me, speak to Nicola. Yeah, that's about it. Or come to the masterclass as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Neil. It was very fun.